Hello friends, welcome to the lecture number 8. In this, we will come to know the actual heat concept which we are using in the throughout the syllabus. In the previous video, I have explained the concept of heat and temperature. Myself PS Saugule from SIT COE, Yadra. So let us say if I consider a steady state and transient state. So what are those? Steady implies no change with the time at any point within the medium. If I consider a one single system, and in that system at any point if there is a no change of temperature with respect to time, then we called it as a steady heat transfer or a steady state. Next one is the transient state, where the temperature is time dependent. As temperature changes or time changes, the temperature also changes. It may increase or decrease depend upon the conditions or the boundary conditions. So we called it as a transient state, or sometimes we called it as unsteady state. In the special case of variation with time but not with position, the temperature of the medium changes uniformly with the time. Such heat transfer are called lumped heat transfer or lumped system. Try to understand this. In the transient state or unsteady state itself, when the temperature changes with respect to time, but it changes with the uniformly, and that's why we called it as lumped system. Now, multidimensional heat transfer problems, as we are going to come across with some numericals to find out the heat transfer, the areas, and in that they may classify it as a one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional. I will explain what those are. In the most general case, heat transfer through a medium is three-dimensional. Every time if I consider it as, it should be a three-dimensional. However, some problems are classified as a two and one dimensional depending upon the relative magnitude of heat transfer rate in a different direction and the level of accuracy desired. Take the previous one example which we have formed oven. In that case, from oven, three-dimensionally the heat will dissipate. But we need to find out the direction from x only. So we can consider it as a single or one-dimensional problem. In the same way, I will explain this with the help of example. If I consider this home, then in that home, the maximum heat transfer is from the window itself, right? And whatever the other heat transfer, no doubt there will be a heat transfer from three-dimensional, but the maximum heat flow or primary direction of heat flow is from the window itself, and that's why we consider it as one-dimensional problem. We need to neglect the heat transfer from other two directions. If I consider this example, a long vertical rectangular bar, and in that case the heat transfer in x direction and y direction only we can consider, because as compared with the uh, height is much more longer. So instead of this, we can consider here the two-dimensional heat transfer from the x and y only. because that is the desired for that particular problem. In this way, the rate of heat conduction through a medium in a specific direction, say it is x direction, it is expressed by Fourier's law of heat conduction, as you have seen this in the previous lectures, for one-dimensional heat conduction. So remember this, Fourier law is for one-dimensional heat conduction, right? And how we express this? Right, Q, which is equal to minus Ka dt upon dx. Now tell me why I have taken here Q dot. Yes, it is a vector quantity, that's why I have indicated Q dot. And what the COND means? Right, conduction. As you know, there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. Right now we are dealing with conduction, that's why I have written here COND. Heat is conducted in the direction of decreasing temperature. Heat flows from higher temperature to the lower temperature, and thus the temperature gradient is negative when the heat conducted in a positive x direction. I will explain this with the help of one example diagram. So let us consider this is the one wall having the temperature, this one, higher temperature to lower temperature. And now if I want to find out Q, heat flow, so since the x direction is from left to right, and on the left we are having the higher temperature, heat flows from left to right, means in the same direction as that of the x. And if I draw a curve which indicate the heat flow and one slope, then that slope is nothing but the temperature gradient. And currently this slope is negative. Now imagine when it is inverse, means if heat flow, if I want to find out the heat flow in a direction of x, and if on the right side there is a higher temperature and on the left side there is a lower temperature, then heat flow will be negative, right? And slope will be positive. So remember this one. When the heat flow direction is as the same that of the x direction, then your slope will be always negative. Then you might have heard this concept heat generation in my one video. So what does it mean by heat generation? So the example is, suppose we are having one electric heater, and that electric heater will convert the electrical energy into heat energy, right? So that is the one example of heat generation, electric energy being converted to heat at a rate of I square R. I is the current and R is the resistance. Fuel element of nuclear reactor. Exothermic chemical reactions happen inside the object. If it is so, we called it as heat generation. And that phenomena is volumetric phenomena. The rate of heat generation is of watt per meter cube. As you know, this is the volumetric phenomena. If I consider heat transfer rate, then it should be a watt. If I consider heat flux, then heat transfer rate per unit area, it should be a watt per meter square. But in case of heat generation, it should be a watt per meter cube, since it has a volumetric phenomena. The rate of heat generation in a medium may vary with the time as well as position within the temperature. Means the position where the exothermic chemical reaction happens, that position matters. while we find out the heat generation. Thank you. Stay connected and keep learning.